Greetings. Welcome to Karen Hope's 15 Minutes of Solid Inspiration, the channel where hope grows inspiration. Thank y'all for being here this evening. So, we're jumping on the channel this evening for Fleeting Thought Thursdays. And this is our fourth week. Well, okay. It's our fourth week, but third video, because what had happened was last Thursday. Look, I woke up one morning. This is the truth. I woke up one morning like all gung-ho, like, okay, yeah, I've got the podcast to do this morning and the YouTube channel and Fleeting Thought Thursday video. Let me just get ahead of the game. Let me just, stick to my dedication because I love this thing. Let me get up at 4:30 in the morning, brew some coffee. That's what I did. I made some biscuits, had a little saucer, some molasses and some butter, sipping my coffee, sopping my biscuit. And, just working and feeling really good about what I had accomplished. Feeling really good about my dedication. And I wrapped everything up, you know how I do with that pretty little bow. And wrapped everything up. It's like feeling like, yes, I gotta have all this together. All my ducks in a row. All my ducks in a row. And really look down at the time and the computer and the date, and baby, it was Friday. I missed Thursday, all of Thursday. Like quack quack. How about them ducks in a row? So as Thursdays do, they come every 7 days, and do over. We're on the channel again to do this thing all over again. Fleeting Thought Thursdays is back in the game. I'm going to turn this down a little bit, y'all. I love Flowetry, don't you? Such a great group. But they're kind of jamming right now, right? So the whole point of Fleeting Thought Thursdays is just to talk freely, right? Get some transparency going on, And then also, it allows us to have some back and forth banter in the comment section, because I really do want y'all to comment on, what you think about Fleeting Thought Thursdays, and if there's something you want to talk about, or if there's like a platform you want to, speak from, as long as it's positive, and let's talk. Let's open up some conversations. And to let y'all know, eventually, which will be soon, because I'm still getting used to the videos. I'm still getting used to this. But eventually, Fleeting Thought Thursdays will be live. Will be live. And when I mean live, I mean live. My imagination tells me that. So, at one point, very soon, it will be very soon, we will be talking to each other on Thursdays, live, going back and forth. But what I'm needing for you all to help me with is to give me some likes and subscribe, because I can't go live without any subscribers. How does that work? Right? So let's, as I start to build the channel and, start to vibe a little bit more and become a little bit more transparent so y'all can get to know me a little better, we will eventually have Fleeting Thought Thursdays. Will go live every Thursday. That's going to be so cool. I can't wait. So let's get that going, y'all. Help me out with that. Okay, so what we're going to do is, and like I said, my imagination tells me that it does. My imagination tells me that. We need our imagination. I've been talking about that for the last few podcasts. And I'm not gonna talk about it too much. Yes, I am. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about how important our imagination is for us to know who we are. We sometimes forget who we are, I think. We tend to dumb down, neglect, forget. Sometimes we just don't know who we are. So, we'll talk about that. Using our imagination, we're gonna know who we are right now, okay? So, check this out. Let your imagination see this, because it's the truth. We are. You and I. We are on earth, right? So, when we're walking around every day, we're touching I'm saying the table because I'm at a table right here. Touch the table, and we go to work, we drive our car, we go swimming, we go skydiving, we drive buses and tractors, and we mow lawns, and we do podcasts, and we deliver babies, we save lives, we fight fires. We do all those things that we need to do down here on earth to make life be comfortable and kind of run as it should, like a well-oiled machine, as much as it can. So we get caught up in all of these things that we're doing every day, right? But we tend to not think about the fact that we are on a rock that is round, okay? And we are floating in space. We're floating in space, and we're being held down by a force called gravity. But other than that, we are literally floating on a rock in space. We're in orbit, we're in orbit with Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, or whatever they call it now. We're in orbit with those planets. There are other universes after universes. There are galaxies after galaxies. There's a place where darkness of space ends and light begins and never ever ends. We're out there with that. We're out in space with that. And I'm going to let you know who we are. From that imagination, you can take yourself, we've never been in space, but you can take yourself in your imagination, right? And take yourself and look down on what I'm talking about. You can look down on Earth without even leaving Earth in your imagination. Guess what else? The same word that was spoken out of God's mouth, the same word that made the planets and the stars and the moon and all the galaxies after galaxies after galaxies, all the endless matter and material and sky. We're made from the same thing. A word spoken from God's mouth. Now, all these miracles that are around, all these miracles that are going on, all these things that can't be explained other than God. That's us. Now, this is how we really know who we are. Okay? And I mentioned this in the podcast, but I really would like to say it again. I would, now that we're talking about this. Now, when you're trying to find out who's the daddy, what do? You go get a DNA test, right? You go get that Dana, as Uncle Joe would say, on Madea. On Medea's every movie. Which one was it that he said that? Was it Madea Goes to Jail, maybe? I love Madea movies. It's so funny. But Uncle Joe said, you better go get that Dana. Now, when you go get the Dana, What do? The DNA, what do? They swab the mouth. Why? Because they got to get a little bit of that saliva out of there. Because everything that you're made of, every bit of your existence can be determined by the saliva in your mouth. So it really is so profound that the Word of God says that we are a word spoken out of God's mouth. Like, let there be, so powerful. So powerful. So that's what we are. We are a word spoken out of God's mouth. And that is absolutely wonderful to imagine, because it allows us to feel a little less frightened. It allows us to feel a little bit more secure and safe. It allows us to, and when I say allows us to feel, what I really mean to say is imagine. Because whatever we imagine is what becomes. It is what will be, is what we imagine. If we can imagine, now for instance, I'm going to use an example, and it's a good one, I believe. Mr. Trump, or POTUS. This is not a platform for hate, so I'm not going to be saying anything negative. But I will say this. That man imagined he would be president of the United States without any doubt. See, that imagination cannot have doubt. He imagined that and he got it. Now, let's go to this thing called balance. Let's go to this thing called balance before I get off track about who we are and what we can do when we imagine, because of who we are, what happens when we imagine and believe and have complete faith in what we imagine. We get that result. Now, going to balance. We can think negatively and we can believe negatively, and we will get that. We can think and believe positively, and we will get that. It's the way it works, right? And it works like that because we are a word spoken out of God's mouth. So that allows us the power to co-create our existence. What God says will be. Whatever work He starts in us, He will finish. The Word of God does not come back void, ever. It is the truth. Without us believing it, it is the truth. But for it to work for us, and for us to reap every single benefit of the power that we have to co-create our existence and manifest some good things by thinking positively and operating from a position of posture and a place of love. And when I say love, I'm not talking about I'm just talking from love, loving ourselves first and knowing that we are a word spoken from the mouth of God, and to understand how powerful that is, and how when we use our imagination, just like we did trying to imagine that we are a rock, we are on a rock. Yeah, we are a rock too. We are a rock. We should be one. We should be solid. and we should be someone that someone can rely on and depend on, we should be a rock. But right now I'm talking about that rock that we are living on, held down on by a force called gravity. That imagination that we have, that we all have, took us into space, and we were able to look down and see ourselves floating in infinite space on a rock. We are E.T. Kind of. Not really, but yeah. That's all. So, because we were going back to that DNA test, we want to know who the daddy is. We go get a Dana, swab that mouth, find out who your daddy is, right? I've never had that problem, and it's not really anything in our family. I guess I can joke about that because we don't have too much of that in my family. But it's not a joke. I shouldn't joke about anything like that. But, yeah. That's how we know who we are. He let us know who we are. So, when it comes to things like imagination and faith and belief, we can make it work for us and co-create our existence. If we want peace, we need to be peace to get peace. We need to be patient to get patience. We need to be loving to receive love. Now, sometimes it feels like we're not getting it back. What's the word? Reciprocity. We're not experiencing that, but really we are. Really we are, because whatever experience we're having, we're learning. We're learning. And where the learning comes in is where the wisdom comes in. The experiences that we have in life, that's where our wisdom comes from. How we react to the situations, how we respond to the conditions, how we accept our consequences. A lot of times people are like, they get bitter and they get mad and they're all mean and we're resentful about life. And what they're doing is living a consequence of a bad decision. And what has to happen from there is we need to take accountability, and from right there start thinking and living and being from a different mindset and heart set. To get a different result, we have to do a different thing, right? Starts with our thoughts. Starts with positive thoughts. That's how it needs to be. So, a very positive thought. I mean, like the most positive thought that I can think of, that my imagination can bring to me to help me co-create and manifest. And I don't want to say easy because life's not easy, but I will say comfortable in my skin, because this is where I live, where I am 24/7 right now for 50 years. I prayed for many, many more. Needs to start right here. And then it can reflect everywhere else, right? So y'all remember, this is what I want you to remember. And we're about to just wrap this up. It's Fleeting Thought Thursdays. We're just talking a little bit. And again, oh my God, I cannot wait until we do this live. Give us until about December. Okay? Maybe we'll have a Christmas. Maybe we will. That's it. We will have a Fleeting Thought Thursday Christmas edition, and it will be our first live. That will be my goal. It's what I imagine. I imagine it in detail. I think I'm going to wear a little Santa hat with a bell. Have some cute earrings, maybe with the light bulb. Maybe red. Maybe wear a cute turtleneck. And I don't ever wear jeans. I don't wear pants. Not for any particular reason other than I'm very curvy. And I like to leave things to the imagination. You see how that works? Imagination is just a wonderful thing. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. I know that's what we're gonna do. So like getting back, we're gonna wrap this up again with that pretty little bow. We're gonna wrap this up and just say, y'all, please remember, okay? You are a word spoken from God's mouth. You are capable of anything that you imagine. So we must keep our imagination decent and in order. We must keep it fair and positive, right? And positive. And then we will be able to manifest good things. We did speak about balance, and we know that there's an opposite to that, right? This is not the platform for that. There's probably a YouTube channel that you can go to and watch to be the most negative person you can be. It's a choice. And, good luck with that. Okay, thank you so much for being here with me this evening to be part of this experience, okay? And it's been fun, and it's been real, and it's been a pleasure. And so tomorrow, I will be right back here on the channel tomorrow morning to announce that episode 107 will be ready for listening, okay? So I'll see you back then tomorrow. Again, thank you for being here. Please like the video. I better say that again, y'all. I'm trying to go live in December. We need subscribers. Please. Let's go live. And like the video, share, comment, turn that notification bell. If it's still red, turn it gray. And I will see you again tomorrow on this channel to exchange some awesome energy.